They were the games that defined a season, Madrid and Barca. And now we kick off the new campaign with another meeting of the greats. Welcome back to the European season and welcome back to the Bernabeu in Madrid for the first leg of the Spanish Super Cup. It's Real Madrid, Copa del Rey winners, but burning from living in the shadow of their rivals against Barcelona. Spanish champion, European champion, and widely considered one of the best sides we've ever seen. It's El Clásico and it's coming up live right here on SBS. Good morning, buenos dias. Thank you for joining us for the kick-off of our season of European club football here on SBS. Later in the week, it's Champions League time again with the playoffs, but we begin in Spain. And with me for the Super Cup, Craig Foster, and former AC Milan goalkeeper and new Sydney FC goalkeeping coach, Željko Kalac. How's that shaping up, mate?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to be back on the field. Enjoying being back on the field, actually. So, yeah, it's good at the moment.
Nice to see you back. Foz, I noticed that the coaches have tried to play down the importance of this game, particularly Mourinho, and I think they're, they must think we're all idiots because there's no such thing as an unimportant game between Barcelona and Real Madrid.
There you go. I'm sure they do. But particularly for Madrid, because this is the season, isn't it? This is the most important for Mourinho. Last year he did really a fantastic job to bring them up to a very high level, and they went very close to Barcelona across, certainly on those 4 Clásicos that we had in the month late in the season earlier this year was an extraordinary performances. He got into trouble, his team got into trouble, everyone got into trouble because it really boiled over. But he comes in this morning with the best chance that he's got for a very long time to beat Barcelona, who are under strength, pretty much a second team coming out, and have had a disjointed pre-season with trips off to US and so on, which Guardiola's not pleased about. They're full strength, they've scored a lot of goals in pre-season Madrid. He says it's been an ideal pre-season and they're raring to go this morning.
Well, he says, Spider Mourinho, that this is not that important, this game, but he puts out his best 11, really. And that's the news on the lineups today, with Madrid lining up with Di Maria, Özil, Cristiano Ronaldo and Benzema in attack, and the usual lineup in midfield and at the back. So, and Foz is right, they're rolling at the moment. 27 goals in their pre-season games.
Well, have a look at the stadium. There's like 90,000 there, full stadium. Foz is already making excuses for Barcelona here. Like, I don't know what's going on here, boys, but I for one, like thousands out there, are probably so keen to see this match, to see what Mourinho can actually conjure up against this Barcelona team, because I think he sets an example in this first match of the season, and he might be. I think he's playing here with everyone saying it's not important. I think he wants to go out there and set the precedent, set everything up for the season, because I think Real Madrid can really push Barcelona to the max this year.
And he has to get over the top of them this season, doesn't he?
If he doesn't win this match, Foz, if he doesn't win this match, it just sets the bar very high. Because the Barcelona team, as we know, is the best team we've ever seen, I think.
As Fozzy implied or mentioned, it is a depleted Barcelona side, so-called, with no Pedro, Busquets, Xavi, and who else?
Puyol's out, Piqué
Puyol.
out.
So the 3 of those guys are on the bench.
Yeah.
So it's the front 3 is Villa, Messi and Sanchez. In midfield, Iniesta, Thiago and Keita. Adriano on the left is the left back. And in the middle of the defence, Abidal and Mascherano. So, Foz, should we be too concerned if we were Barcelona fans, which of course we're not.
As you say, Les, we're all very neutral here, but I think they should be concerned for sure. Alexis has only been there a couple of weeks. Messi's playing. He's only been back, I understand, since basically a week or so. He's had very little training and had a very short break though. So they say he came back still fit after the Copa America, but. Abidal Mascherano in centre of defence, Thiago Alcantara, who had a really fantastic pre-season and was the big, not surprise, but I guess the big benefit or bonus, showed that he's ready to at least start. But it's roughly half the team. The guys are out: Puyol, Piqué, Xavi, Busquets and Pedro. Aside from Messi, are probably the best 5 performers last season. So for them, I think it's going to be an extremely tough match. I think the big key this morning, and the interesting part, is how Mourinho actually approaches it. Because you remember those classicos, sometimes he sat, sometimes he went. He's a very flexible operator.
Nothing seemed to work. Okay, let's have a look at who's come in and who's gone out of both of these clubs in terms of the transfer window. This is Madrid. They were quite busy in the market. Altintop, Fabio Contrao, Nuri Sahin, who's a fabulous player, but he's injured at the moment, Rafael Varane, and back from loan come Drenthe and Callejon. They've lost Garay, Dudek, Adebayor. Sergio Canales has gone on loan, and David Mateos has gone on loan. It's a case of consolidation for Madrid, wasn't it, really? No big superstars coming in, Spider?
No big superstars, but they've already got plenty of superstars there at the club, so I don't think they probably need it any more than that. I think the interesting part is, how are they going to approach this match? Are they going to try to outplay Barcelona? Look at the crowd. Like, the pressure's got to be on Real Madrid tonight, because the crowd will be expecting this year, the supporters, that they close the gap. Not close the gap, that they actually beat Barcelona in a few of the titles. And I'm really looking forward to see how they will react to the way Real Madrid play tonight. That's the key for me.
Okay, Foz, let's have a look at the Barcelona transfers, and they've been pretty quiet. Alexis Sanchez, the Chilean boy, has come in from Udinese. Thiago Alcantara back from a loan spell. But of course, still to come is, it appears, Cesc Fabregas.
That's right. Sanchez and Fabregas were really the big targets. Thiago stepped up, of course. He's also a Spanish, I think, under 21 international. For Kerrison has been out on loan, a young Brazilian. It comes back as to whether or when he's going to be available to step up in the first team. We don't know, and of course Hleb's had a difficult couple of years. But Sanchez, phenomenal player. You know, a lot of the top clubs wanted him. Brings him across from Serie A. Of course, he had a marvellous season last year. He's someone who brings speed, in particular on the counter-attack, also one-on-one dribbling ability, extraordinary, and goals. So he's going to be fighting for Pedro across these front 3 positions, Villa, Pedro, and of course Messi's, because he's the king. And for Fabregas, there's been an odd story. Of course, it's been going on for 18 months, but just the last 3 or 4 days has been more bizarre than ever. When the players said that he'd been signed, Piqué and Puyol came out tweeting saying it's great to have him and all these things.
And Wenger said yesterday, nobody's leaving.
Exactly.
Only yesterday.
Yeah, and they're all saying, and even Guardiola said, look, it's basically almost done. And the news was pretty much that he was about to be signed, but because they'd released it, apparently Arsenal were upset and perhaps put it off a couple of days. It's hard to know, but it truly is an absolute shambles. But he's expected now to be signed and sealed on Monday, in which case he is, I think, a fantastic addition to the squad, Fabregas. He knows the system. And this is the big issue for me today, is Alexis Sanchez. Okay, marvellous player, but now you come into a machine and you've got to know the mechanisms. You've got to know where to go and when. So that to me is going to be great interest to see where.
But it's a risk, Alexis Sanchez, because he is coming into a system that he's not used to. That's not the way Udinese plays. And so you have to get used to this system, you have to learn the system, and he hasn't come in until very recently, because he was, of course, at the Copa America.
Still, Les, I think they wouldn't have went out of their way to get this player if they didn't think he was capable of fitting into the squad. I think he's a very good player, and I think it'll take time for him to learn how to play it, but when you've got great players around you, you'll learn it a lot quicker.
One of the reasons that Guardiola took him was because he played so well under Bielsa with Chile. And Guardiola is a bit of a disciple of Bielsa, has tremendous respect for him, and His belief was if he could play in that system under Bielsa and excel, he understands the movements. Yeah. And whilst the formation and the system is slightly different, that's a demonstration to him that he can follow instructions, understand where and when to go. So it's quite interesting.
One question I never managed to ask you, as a goalkeeper, Spider, is Iker Casillas. We just had a shot of him there. How good is he? Is he the best keeper in the world today?
He'd be in the top 3. I don't know if he's the best keeper in the world. There's a few up there that I rate. Like I rate Valdez very highly. I find he must be very disappointed. A keeper like Valdez has won everything and he just can't get in front of Casillas. But that's only because he's not getting the opportunity, because Casillas...
He's the best in terms of launching attacks, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely, because Barcelona play everything slowly from the back, build it up, whereas Real Madrid are very direct on the counter-attack. So, look, I mean, he's a fantastic keeper. He's won everything, but I don't know if he's the best.
Did he answer that?
I don't know if
Who is the best?
No,
you say Valdez is the best. Or can you not say one?
Look, I don't know if... Look, now Van der Sar has retired. Buffon at his peak was fantastic. I'm not convinced that Valdez and Casillas, there's a big difference between them.
Neuer is another one that people are shouting about.
Adler. Look, there's a lot of...
But they're not there yet.
No, they're still growing. Still growing.
Okay, what are we expecting, Foz, in terms of outcomes? What kind of game?
I'm expecting an open game from Madrid, actually. I really hope that he goes at them. He did that a couple of times over those 4 Clásicos and he got his reward, particularly in the Copa del Rey final. Remember, in the first half, he really went at them and pressured them. If he's ever going to do it again, now's the time. He's had a fantastic pre-season. They're ready to go, whereas Barca are not ready. Psychologically, they're not ready. Physically, they're not ready. So I think this is a great chance for them this morning. You can never bet against Barca, but I think it's a very difficult game for them. It
looks like a pretty open stance from Mourinho. He hasn't got Pepe in midfield, try to cut down Lionel Messi, cut down the penetration of Lionel Messi. So it could be a very, very good game and a more open game than we think. Leading the teams out was referee Teixeira Vitienes, and more from the boys at half-time. But let's head to the Bernabeu, and our commentator is Sid Lowe.
Barcelona then with a couple of players who haven't even played during pre-season. Leo Messi and Alexis Sanchez haven't been with the team as they travel to the United States. Real Madrid, on the other hand, have had a pre-season that's been going really rather well for them. They've been in training for a week longer than Barcelona. Physically, we're expecting them to be rather stronger than Barcelona. Whether that will be enough, of course, is another matter. Barcelona have had a questionable pre-season. They've played 7 times over the summer. Barcelona won 3, drawn 2 and lost 2. They've only scored 7 times and conceded 11. As for Real Madrid, 7 games, 7 victories. They have been flying. Some of the animosity from last year's clashes between these two sides does seem to have washed away a little bit. This game hasn't had quite the tension surrounding the build-up as previous matches, but you can bet your life that once we get started, it will be as tough and as tense as ever. The Santiago Bernabeu, 10 o'clock local time, is absolutely packed. Let's run through the 2 lineups for you. Real Madrid, very, very familiar look about them. Iker Casillas is in goal with a back four that's made up of Sergio Ramos, Ricardo Carvalho, Pepe and Marcelo. Sami Khedira joins Xabi Alonso in the middle of midfield, a line of three behind the striker with Cristiano Ronaldo, Mesut Ozil and Angel Di Maria, who gets the nod ahead of the €30 million signing Fabio Coentrão, and up front Karim Benzema, arguably the star of Real Madrid's pre-season. He's been a top scorer during pre-season and he's got 1 or 2 points to prove after playing just 57 minutes in that marathon of games last year. We'll have a minute's silence. Minute silence impeccably observed in honour and in memory of the daughter of one of the Real Madrid directors. Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, not just looking to perform as he performed last year, but looking to perhaps supersede what he performed last year. Cristiano Ronaldo had a fantastic season where he finished top scorer in La Liga, extraordinary amount of goals, 40 goals it was last season, not 39. The highest ever total by a player in the first division, overtaking Telmo Zarra and Hugo Sanchez, who both got 38. The question mark surrounding that record, of course, from Cristiano Ronaldo's critics is that so many of those goals came after the league game against Barcelona here, which effectively handed Barcelona the title, and perhaps therefore those goals were not perhaps as important as Cristiano Ronaldo and of course his Real Madrid teammates would have liked. That forgets, though, has to be said, Cristiano Ronaldo's winning goal, a header in the Copa del Rey final. Here's Benzema. Benzema is beaten to it by Mascherano. Mascherano was caught by Khedira. The referee waves play on. The referee tonight, by the way, is Teixeira Bitienes the first, and yes, there are 2 of them. They're not actually related. Here's Thiago. He's talking earlier about pre-seasons. He's had quite a pre-season. Here's Ronaldo trying to go through the gap, but Mascherano closes it off. Ozil now to Cristiano Ronaldo on the left-hand side, faced by Dani Alves. Ronaldo, though, loses out to Alexis Sanchez, the first touch as a Barcelona player. As I say, Alexis has not yet played for Barcelona, not even during pre-season. He, of course, was at the Copa America, as indeed was Lionel Messi. Both of them start tonight for Barcelona, despite having not had any time in the team during that pre-season trip to the United States. I say pre-season, Pep Guardiola may not agree. He complained, or it certainly sounded like a complaint when he came back to Spain, saying that in the old days we used to do pre-seasons, these days we go on tour. As Karim Benzema's shot flashes wide of the post, having taken a deflection, it will be a Real Madrid corner. And certainly this looks to be a very aggressive start from Real Madrid. And Jose Mourinho was fairly clear about the way his side would play. He said he didn't want to give too much away, but the way he's been preparing for this, the nature of the starting 11 suggests that he believes that physical advantage could be decisive for Real Madrid, and therefore he wants his side to really get at Barcelona from very early on. Mesut Ozil it's going to be with the corner. And swing it from him. Valdés thought about coming, didn't eventually go for it. It's headed away by Mascherano. This is Alonso. Ozil just waited for that to bounce so he could go up the line, but Adriano was quick enough to get in ahead of him. So Barcelona without the injured Carlos Puyol, who is coming back to full fitness. There's also no place for Gerard Piqué, who had a very slight knock in pre-season. The surprise really is the absence of Sergio Busquets and Xavi Hernandez. Here's Thiago. Alexis waited a little, but managed to find Thiago, and now Dani Alves. Alves, who last season provided a quite extraordinary 19 assists in all competitions from right back. It's more than anyone else on the pitch except Lionel Messi and Mesut Ozil, who had 24 and 25 respectively. The best of touches from Villa, but Thiago brings it under control. Iniesta can't quite do the same. Villa now for Iniesta. On it goes, looking towards the run of Alexis Sanchez, but he can't quite get on the end of it. You may notice, by the way, that Thiago Alcantara is wearing 11 tonight. On a couple of occasions during pre-season he wore number 4 for Barcelona, but number 4 is being saved for a certain Francesc Fabregas. It's Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo's got the pace to get away from Alves, but Alves was just quick enough to get a foot in, and Real Madrid have a corner. It's been a pretty intense start from Jose Mourinho's side. Real Madrid will presumably look at the Barcelona defence and think they may get some joy tonight. Khedira was leaping in, didn't quite get to it. Sergio Ramos was there too. Alonso's shot has gone all the way out towards a throw-in, but no, Karim Benzema keeps it in. Benzema away from Alves towards the penalty area. Looks to play the 1-2 and almost got there as well. It also very nearly ran for Cristiano Ronaldo, who was lurking near the penalty spot. And Real Madrid are keen to get the ball into play as quickly as they possibly can. The ball boys throwing the ball back very fast. The grass has been cut very, very short, and it's very wet as well. Here's Di Maria. Di Maria goes for goal, but Valdés will see that widen. The reason that's so significant, of course, is because last year in the League and the Champions League games here between these two sides caused quite a controversy when Real Madrid decided to leave the grass long and dry to try and slow the game down. Tonight it appears they want the complete opposite. They want a fast, very, very slick surface. Madrid also pushing pressure very high up the pitch. See the 3 men from the line of 3 right up on the Barcelona defenders and deep lying midfielder Seydou Keita, forcing Victor Valdés to thump that goal kick long, which isn't normally the way for them. It's going to be much, much harder for Barcelona without the presence of Xavi Hernandez, who's on the bench tonight. Villa tries to head that back, or rather chest control that back towards Iniesta. Iniesta is taken down by a combination of Angel Di Maria and Sami Khedira. Pressure on the referee beginning already, of course, from the fans, and I'm sure there'll be pressure on the referee from both sets of players as well. Not too much doubt that Andres Iniesta was caught by Sami Khedira. Khedira, who picked up an injury in the Copa del Rey final last season and therefore was unable to play that second leg against Barcelona at the Camp Nou, which eventually finished 1-1, although, of course, Barcelona had done the damage by winning 2-0 here in the first leg with those 2 goals from Lionel Messi. The second of them, a really brilliant strike. These 2 teams dominating Spanish football. Not too much doubt that they will be the best 2 teams in Spain, quite possibly the best 2 teams in Europe this season. But of course, the big obsession from Real Madrid's point of view is to change the balance of power between the sides. Villa comes across to win that back ahead of Sergio Ramos. Now Andres Iniesta, who's got Khedira very, very close to him. Iniesta turns away from Khedira. Khedira leaning on him. Iniesta manages to find Thiago, who plays it simply to Seydou Keita. And back now for Javier Mascherano. Mascherano, who took a little while to settle for Barcelona last season after he signed for 22 million right at the very end of the transfer window from Liverpool. And in the end ended up playing a huge, huge role for Barcelona, but more as a centre-back than a central midfielder. Lionel Messi is happy enough to let that run for Alexis. Seen Messi have too much of a touch as yet. Thiago now for Messi, back to Thiago. Thiago has a little bit of space to run into and support on the right-hand side with Alexis Sanchez. Alexis tries to come inside, but Marcelo is alert to that and he clips it away for a Barcelona throw-in. This is David Villa. Villa comes inside, across it went, but it was looking for Alexis, they didn't find him. This is Keita, now Thiago. Thiago with Mascherano, and now Eric Abidal playing at centre-back as he did so well at the start of last season. By the end of the season, of course, after that tumour that he had removed, he ended up back at left-back. Thiago tried to jest it down. Alonso was alert to it. Messi was the man that was waiting. This is Cristiano Ronaldo now on the left-hand side. Ronaldo tracked by Alexis Sanchez. Still Ronaldo onto his right foot, swinging towards the far post. Karim Benzema's there. It's a good header. And it's a good save too from Victor Valdés. Not quite enough power on it from Karim Benzema. Valdés saw it bounce up and was just given enough time to be able to scramble across and push it wide for a corner. Adriano got the wrong side of Benzema. I thought Di Maria appeared to be appealing to say that had gone over the line, but maybe even for a foul from Adriano. In any case, Valdés saves it. Real Madrid have a corner. Hint of a handball from Pepe, but it runs all the way through, and it was blocked once more as Sergio Ramos took aim. And it's a Real Madrid throw-in. Ramos' shot was blocked by Mascherano in the end. Looked for a moment like it may even have come off one of his own players. Khedira. And Karim Benzema is offside. Here's Ronaldo with Marcelo going outside him. All the way across from Marcelo. It's a good ball too. Hint of a handball from Angel Di Maria. And while the fans complain, I think there's not too much doubt about that. Victor Valdés is a long way off his goal line. I think asking Teixeira Vitienes to get out a yellow card for that infraction from Angel Di Maria. I suspect the referee will be cautious about getting cards out tonight after all the controversy that surrounded the 3 games, or rather the 4 games last season. We'll see the best of the chances. Good save from Victor Valdés, although it was just soft enough, the header. He had time to scramble to his right-hand side. Just wonder if Jose Mourinho's decision tonight to play the side that lost 5-0 to Barcelona early in the season is partly his way of giving them the opportunity to make amends. Of course, it's not quite the same Barcelona side they're up against. Pepe forward diagonally towards Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo can't quite bring it under control on the chest, but does win the header, and Alves leaps in. Alonso was caught late by Alexis. Not sure how much that was Alexis going in and or Alonso following through as he struck it, but certainly Alexis was a little late, and the contact is very real. Carvalho is asking for a yellow card. Alexis is wagging his finger. I think Alonso's not too happy, but I think Alexis is saying to Alonso that he was dashing in and that Alonso followed through. Let's have a look. There was almost as much Alonso following through as Alexis, but of course Alonso is striking the ball. Alexis running across the face of him, and that's what provokes the contact. One of those classic challenges you see so many of, players running across the front of other players trying to block the clearance, and as they don't block the ball, then the player striking tends to follow through with his leg, and that causes the contact, and always the foul is given against the player who comes across, even though the contact is sometimes provoked as much by the player striking the ball as the player trying to then block it. Here's Messi. Pepe couldn't keep the ball in play. It goes straight up the line and out of play. Messi's little touch for Andres Iniesta. Iniesta now with Villa. Interesting to see how Villa plays this season and what kind of role he plays. There were moments last year where he seemed a little uncomfortable. Here's Karim Benzema up against his compatriot Eric Abidal. Lovely work from Benzema into the path of Osil, and Real Madrid have the lead. 12 minutes gone, it's Karim Benzema that makes it. It's Mesut Ozil that finishes it off, and Real Madrid are 1-0 up in the Clásico, the first Clásico of a new season, and it's a wonderful goal which Mesut Ozil has scored. We scored just 9 times last season. He's got one already this season. Benzema's work and Mesut Ozil with a finish. Mourinho hardly moves on the bench. but Real Madrid have a vital lead, and what a neat finish it was too, as Seydou Keita came across to try and block him off. But it's all about the work from Karim Benzema, in truth. Nudged into the path of Özil, with the ball going back in the direction from whence it came. Barcelona trail, Real Madrid lead. The first game of the 2011-2012 season. It's Barcelona 0, Real Madrid 1 at the Santiago Bernabeu. Well, by this time, in that 5-0, Barcelona had already got the lead. This time round, it's Real Madrid who've already got the lead. Pep Guardiola was saying in the build-up to this game that he felt the first match would be the key. Last year, Barcelona were beaten 3-1 at Sevilla, in the Sánchez Pizjuán by Sevilla, but were able to turn it around in the second leg. Guardiola was very, very clear before this game, saying if we lose 3-1 in the first leg, we will not come back. Here's Ronaldo, and it's Valdés who claims it. It's been a fantastic start from Real Madrid, and that question mark that there was about the physical condition of the two teams, I think we've seen that Real Madrid certainly trying to take advantage of what is presumably at least their better physical condition. Their players on average have played around about 700 minutes more than the Barcelona players. Barcelona have been forced, well, by that I mean the standard starting 11 for Barcelona. They have been using their first choice players throughout the summer. Barcelona have largely used youth team players. The key men haven't started. In fact, you see some of the key men haven't started tonight either. Madrid has certainly made it count so far. Here's Mascherano under pressure, and it's a very high line from Real Madrid. A lot of pressure on Barcelona. They're not finding it easy to get out from the back at all. Here's Alves. Ronaldo is right up on top of him. Alves can't get away from him, and so far Barcelona have been unable to really get hold of the ball. Here's Abidal. Iniesta. Iniesta tried to turn that round the corner for Adriano. It wasn't the best of passes, and Adriano has to scamper back into position. Alonso's ball now looking for Ángel Di María. Across comes Adriano. Adriano gets there first. Ángel Di María tumbles to the ground, but he was running into the back of Adriano, although the Brazilian certainly used his body to try and block off the progress of the Argentinian. Barcelona throw in, and Adriano is taking his time. I imagine Barcelona quite keen to take the sting out of the game, take some of the pace out of it for the time being. Really haven't been able to get hold of the ball at all, and Ramos is in quickly. Madrid are very, very much on top of Barcelona at the moment. On occasions, in the literal sense, very close to Barcelona's players. The pressure is very, very high, very intense. The speed, you see Ángel Di María dashing around. Abidal does well to step away from him, but see his options are closed off and men come to him quickly. This is Thiago. Real test for Thiago this, as Di María dives in on Adriano. Messi was the man waiting for it. Messi was really not seeing the ball yet, nor indeed has Andrés Iniesta. Madrid have it back. This is Ronaldo. Ronaldo for Carvalho. Carvalho's ball, and Alves had slipped. Marcelo is offside. Well, Marcelo, I'm not entirely sure about that decision from the linesman, but seemed to delay the flag a moment, the linesman there, as Marcelo dashed in, and from that angle it's very, very difficult to tell because we're not directly in line with the cuttings on the grass. Certainly Dani Alves will feel a little bit fortunate as he slipped and Marcelo dashed in behind. Pep Guardiola looking rather concerned. He was keen to stress, Guardiola, that despite the fact that he hasn't been happy with pre-season, despite the fact that he has had some of his players at the Copa America until quite late in the tournament, that he doesn't want to make excuses. He says, this is a tournament, it's a big competition, it's Real Madrid, there are no excuses. Whoever wins will be the best team, at least for the time being, as Iniesta turns away from Alonso. Alonso caught him. Real Madrid absolutely full of confidence at the moment. Alonso almost caught Iniesta twice there. Spanish international teammates, of course. Well, the question mark over to what extent the international teammates are getting on these days is still hanging in the air after last year's Clásicos. Certainly those 4 games and the aggression, the tension that surrounded them seem to have affected, to some extent at least, the relationship between those people who will have to lead Spain into the European Championships in the summer. something that Vicente del Bosque, the Spain coach, while he hasn't wanted to talk about it too much publicly, is privately genuinely quite worried about. Sil's pass is not the best. Ronaldo's trying to get across to it. Alexis Sanchez was screening him to try and make sure that Barcelona won the throw-in. Ronaldo's not too happy about that decision. See, Real Madrid throwing. Alves wanted to take it for a moment, couldn't do so. Marcelo takes it quickly, looking for the run of Osil. Mascherano to Abidal, and Abidal now for Valdés, who's under a little bit of pressure, but not too much from Mesut Özil, who now jogs back into his position behind that line of three. Real Madrid are putting the pressure very, very high up the pitch. Alonso, the one man that's sitting deeper, Khedira and Osil are both pushing up to try and join the men ahead of them. Abidal hoiks it forward. And it's easy enough for Iker Casillas. Leo Messi has scored in the last 4 games that Barcelona have played here at the Santiago Bernabéu. They really, really need him to score now. Mesut Özil, by the way, it's an interesting statistic. Mesut Özil has just scored the 700th goal in the history of the Clásico. The man who scored the first was also a German. Thanks very much to Infostrada Live for that particular statistic. Messi really hasn't touched the ball yet. Barcelona continue to get pressed back by Real Madrid. Taste of their own medicine to some extent. Carvalho was dashing in towards it, but it was just that little bit too high for him, a bit too long as well for Pepe. Adriano taking his time. Keita brings it under control. It's a symbol of how much pressure Real Madrid are putting on that Adriano did take so long. He felt that he didn't have anyone to hit with that throw-in. Barcelona's normal outlets simply aren't there. To some extent they'll be affected, of course, by the absence of Xavi, but they'll still be very struck by Barcelona by the amount of pressure they've been put under and just how difficult it's been for them to keep hold of the ball. Here's Thiago. It's not the best of passes from Thiago, and it's not the best of touches either from Alexis Sanchez, who was asked to do rather too much. Alexis Sanchez, just one of 3 signings that Barcelona have made in the summer. Came for a total of 37 million euros. There was also Kiko Femenia for 2 million euros from Hércules. He's joined Barcelona mostly to play with the B team, but obviously with a view to him eventually making the step up. And of course, Cesc Fabregas, who we're expecting to officially become a Barcelona player tomorrow. Valdés once again under pressure. Abidal too. It's Adriano, Abidal. Barcelona are very adept at working themselves out of trouble, but they'll feel slightly less comfortable when it's Adriano and Abidal doing the working out than when it's Abidal and, say, Gerard Piqué or Carlos Puyol. But as it turns out, Barcelona have actually evaded that first wave of pressure, and that's opened up the pitch a little for them. Keita felt he was fouled, and in the end he did win the free kick. It almost felt, to be honest, or rather it was Dani Alves, sorry, to be honest, as if he won the free kick partly because he stopped and complained as much as because of the foul itself. Here's Alexis Alves. Alves is beaten to it by Khedira. Ronaldo sees the gap outside of Thiago, goes to be on Thiago, but Thiago just about gets a foot in to make the challenge. Ronaldo didn't make too much of that, and I think Thiago just about got the ball. midway through the first half. That goal from Mesut Özil, set up beautifully by Karim Benzema, gives Real Madrid a 1-0 lead. Came early, and Madrid's pressure hasn't abated since. Barcelona have been unable to get the ball down, unable to really play. That intensity that we saw during pre-season has been very, very much in evidence so far here tonight. Mourinho is doing a number of very interesting movements and training sessions in the United States, one of which involved training on a pitch with 2 goals, both facing the same way, and the idea was that you protected the first goal and then you play the ball long over it to the second goal. The idea being that you could pressure, 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 and then spring the long diagonal ball or the long straight ball into the space behind, of course, partly designed to take advantage of the fact that Barcelona always play with such a high defence, although tonight they haven't really done so because Real Madrid have pushed them back so far. Here's Villa, Andres Iniesta, 2 runners in front of him, but no one very close to Iniesta. Villa now does come in support. Keita, Iniesta again. And for the first time, Barcelona sort of get hold of the ball, but then in the end, a slightly loose pass from Andres Iniesta and a slightly unconvincing wave of the foot from Mascherano gives Real Madrid possession back once again. Here's Cristiano Ronaldo. Benzema to Alonso, and Alonso from Marcelo. Marcelo under pressure from Alexis, and still Marcelo in the end. Alexis did just enough for Marcelo to go to ground, and Real Madrid give away the free kick. Rather, Barcelona do. Taken quickly, looking towards Angel Di Maria. It's a wonderful pass. Well, how about that for a touch from Angel Di Maria? Quite get away from Adriano, though. Here's the block. It was a wonderful crossfield ball. Extraordinarily accurate, and how about that for a touch? Di Maria killed it instantly. Pepe now for Alonso. So effective, of course, playing those diagonal balls. This is Khedira. Alonso once more. Under pressure from Thiago for a moment there. Thiago continues to push as Pepe brings it under control and goes back in the end to Iker Casillas. Pep Guardiola has said that he doesn't expect any more signings after Cesc Fabregas. There have been 1 or 2 questions over whether Barca should be trying to get themselves a centre-back. Hasn't happened so far, and it's a pretty nasty clash. Khedira caught Abidal. Khedira immediately held up his hand. He knew he'd done so. No malicious intent whatsoever. But it's a pretty nasty clash. I think it may even have been a stud in the head from Sami Khedira. Keita wants the stretcher on. In fact, it was Mesut Özil, not Khedira. No, it was Khedira. Oof. Well, I think it was a graze rather than a full impact, but definitely caught the side of Abidal's head, and Khedira immediately put his hand up. And in truth, he's perhaps a little fortunate not to be booked. Not so much because of any malicious intent. I don't think there was any. Because when you go in with your foot that high, certainly in Spain, do tend to get a booking for it. Gerard Piqué, by the way, is warming up on the off chance that Abidal can't continue. And here's the goal again. It's a neat ball up the line for Benzema, and Abidal never quite got stuck in the position. Mascherano came across and actually found himself terribly out of position. Keita had to fill the gap that Mascherano had left as it went through Mascherano's legs. It was a neat finish. Well, there's whistles because the stretcher has been sent away. I understand why in many ways. You don't need a stretcher in order to attend to a head injury. Gerard Piqué is preparing. Abidal, meanwhile, tries to almost kind of wake himself up. Well, Abidal's back on the pitch and the fans are whistling. Sense of injustice from them, but I think they can't really have seen the degree of impact on the challenge. At the moment, Barcelona just not able to get hold of the ball at all. I suppose the question mark will be how long Real Madrid can maintain this degree of intensity and speed and aggression. Here's Benzema, nicely done from Benzema, and Valdés was forced to make the challenge. Alves away from the tackle of Marcelo. Away too from Cristiano Ronaldo, but he's not really got anyone in support, Alves. He's forced to go to Thiago, who was a little bit behind him. Thiago was caught by Alonso. Alonso protests his innocence. The referee gives the free kick, and so far hasn't taken out any yellow cards. It's a pretty late one, that, from Xabi Alonso, and perhaps a little fortunate. Iniesta with Villa. Back now for Adriano. Eric Abidal for Thiago. Thiago's got Alexis outside. Alexis faced by Marcelo. Goes outside him. Lovely footwork from Alexis to get away from Marcelo. But Marcelo's quick enough to get back and make the challenge. Barcelona had the throw-in. But from Real Madrid's point of view, it could have been a whole lot worse. Marcelo has played the vast majority of pre-season at left-back for Real Madrid. Question marks over him when Coentrao signed. Here's Alves. Still Alves, but Pepe comes across to win it. Pepe comes out from the back. Tried to play it long up the line towards Benzema, but cut out by Mascherano. Abidal is there to tidy up. Abidal's a little uncomfortable in that position though, and finds Alves, and Alves too is uncomfortable. It's not the best of passes, but Alexis gets there. Marcelo makes the challenge, and it comes back off Alexis's leg for a throw-in. It goes to Casillas. He was forced into a pretty difficult piece of control there, Iker Casillas. Di Maria is putting pressure on Valdés. Valdés to Abidal. Abidal under pressure again from Angel Di Maria, who is extremely quick when he dashes from player to player. Valdés, though, is very, very good with his feet, although on this occasion the pass is overhit to Adriano. One of the reasons why Pep Guardiola likes Valdés so much is not just his goalkeeping, but also his ability to effectively play as the last man for Barcelona and to be an outlet if players need it when they have to maintain possession. Abidal, a little unconvincing, perhaps even a hint of a handball there. Certainly some of the fans thought so. Here's Thiago, lovely turn from Thiago away from Khedira, who dragged him to the ground, and the referee gives a free kick. Once again the fans complain, but I don't think there's too much doubt that that was indeed a free kick. And there is the first yellow card. It's for Sami Khedira. Certainly not the worst of the challenges we've seen, but got the feeling that maybe Teixeira Vitiennes was thinking that if he allowed any more, because he's allowed a fair bit so far, he may well have the game getting out of control, so decided it was time to get out the card. Obviously it's not the first foul from Khedira either. And also it was, I think it's fair to say, entirely intentional from Sami Khedira. Messi. Just about the first time we've seen Messi, really, and it was just a simple short pass from him. Messi again is bundled over by Xabi Alonso, and that was a pretty clumsy challenge from Xabi Alonso. Mourinho's not happy, but I don't really see that there can be too much doubt. Here's Messi looking through the gap towards Villa. Villa may get there. Villa's got the pace all the way through. David Villa, Casillas saves. The flag is up. Casillas saved in any case. Well, Messi, who's not been involved at all, suddenly sprung into life and saw the run from Villa, and I think it is offside. Looking at the line of the grass, it's difficult to be 100% sure. That's the possible handball from Abidal earlier. Difficult to tell. It looks like the ball may have bounced up against his elbow. Here's Adriano. Villa is outside him. Adriano rode the first challenge, couldn't ride the second. It was Sergio Ramos that was lying in wait for him, and Ramos' ball over the top looking towards Benzema, and Mascherano was backpedaling, and for a moment it looked like he wouldn't get there, and like Karim Benzema may well be in. Now, Sami Khedira, the first man into the referee's notebook. It has been an aggressive game so far. From Spanish point of view, perhaps the referee has let a little too much go. It's a big mistake that towards Leo Messi. Alexis was the man who took it off from here's Leo Messi. Leo Messi gets crowded out though as Khedira came back to help out and to rescue Xabi Alonso from a mistake. And as Alexis went up the line, you just wondered if Messi perhaps could have tried to play him in, but maybe the run from Alexis was a little bit hasty. Just wonder if he'd gone into an offside position, or if indeed Messi simply didn't see him. In any case, Messi chose not to go for him and rather ran into a crowd as Barcelona give the ball away once again. And not seen a Barcelona side this uncomfortable for some time, although it is true they haven't played well during pre-season for the most part. Conceded 4 goals against Chivas. As I said earlier on, Barcelona scored just 7, conceded 11 during the summer. Here's Iniesta, away from Khedira. Ronaldo comes back to make the challenge. Ronaldo fouls. The referee gives a free kick, the fans whistle, but I think deep down they know that that was a foul from Ronaldo as he dragging on the shoulder of Andres Iniesta. Intensity has shown no signs of dropping as we move into the final 10 minutes of the first half. It's Real Madrid 1, Barcelona 0 in the first game of the 2011-2012 season. It's the Spanish Super Cup. These sides have met each other 4 times in the Super Cup, in 88, 90, 93 and 97. And how about this for a statistic? Real Madrid have won all of them. Here's Messi, even though Barcelona have had the better of it in recent years between these two sides. Indeed, Pep Guardiola is yet to be beaten at the Santiago Bernabeu as Barcelona coach. Here's Iniesta to Keita. Iniesta again. Now Abidal. Javier Mascherano. Messi coming deep to try and get Barcelona going. A little bit of footwork away from Carvalho now to David Villa. Messi continues to run into the area. Villa goes for goal! Oh, what a goal! What a goal that is from David Villa. Barcelona are back in this game. They really haven't had much of the ball. They really haven't been able to play the way that they like to play. But they are on level terms, and it's a wonderful goal from David Villa. We've seen 2 absolute beauties tonight, and it's David Villa's turn this time. And he curled it in very, very much like he did in the Champions League final against Manchester United. Perhaps a little bit less dip on the ball, perhaps a little further to the left-hand side. But this is a goal we've seen him score so many times for Valencia. We saw him score one very similar early last season for Barcelona too. And that is an absolutely gorgeous goal from David Villa. Well, for the first time, really, Lionel Messi was able to drop into midfield, get a bit of the ball, stepped away from the chance from Carvalho. It was a simple enough pass for David Villa, but it did open the pitch out for him a little, and that is an extraordinary goal for David Villa. So there were question marks about him last season. There was a long period where he failed to score, but then he scored in the Champions League final, got 23 goals overall, and he's now just scored his 24th for Barcelona. Leo Messi shows some neat footwork to get away from Pepe and Khedira, and suddenly Barcelona are alert to this. Villa's ball was looking for Messi as Messi was dashing in behind Real Madrid, and this game is really opening up now. What a goal, what a pair of goals we've seen. Well, it was Karim Benzema for Mesut Ozil to score, and it was Messi for Villa to score. Here's Benzema once more, 1-1 at the Bernabeu. Coming towards the end of the first half, Barcelona have won the ball back. Eric Abidal dashes up the pitch. He hasn't really got support, so he's forced to go on his own. Not the best of passes, but Alexis Sanchez does very well to win it back. Cristiano Ronaldo is in quickly, so too there is Khedira. Mascherano is running with Benzema. Mascherano would like to see this out of play. Benzema commits the foul, well, the referee doesn't give the free kick. He does, however, give the goal kick for Barcelona. Well, just when things seem to be going so well for Real Madrid, and Barcelona really weren't settling at all, this happens. How about that from David Villa? It's absolutely stunning. To say as well, I'm not sure how well you could see that coming at home watching on TV, but from where we're sitting in the stadium high up on the left-hand side as Barcelona attack, from the same side as the dugouts, and the angle of this commentary position, you could actually see the second that Villa cut back inside, you could almost see exactly the area of the goal that he was looking at before he struck it, and it was a truly brilliant strike. Abidal looks long towards Alexis. Alexis got Marcelo with me. He's also had Carvalho. Now Pepe back to Casillas. And Real Madrid have possession once more. And Real Madrid thought they would go into half-time, not just with possession, but with the lead. Just at a time we really, genuinely, you could have been forgiven for saying, where is Leo Messi? He hasn't done anything yet. And then it just burst into life. don't want to give him too much of the credit for what was a goal that was largely all down to David Villa, but it was just a slight moment of Messi getting in control. Barcelona are back 1-1. Here's Adriano under pressure from Angel Di Maria, who was screeching across towards him then. He is extraordinarily fast, Angel Di Maria. Khedira ahead of Adriano. This is Osil. Alonso, nicely done from Alonso, and it really opens up on the left-hand side for Real Madrid. This is Cristiano Ronaldo with Marcelo outside, and Ronaldo came inside and tried to shoot, and possibly not the best of options as Marcelo went outside. Khedira was dashing through as well. Karim Benzema was going through the middle. A slight hint of frustration from some of the Real Madrid fans as that ball ricocheted back. Pepe goes long. Again, the diagonal ball looking towards Angel Di Maria. Again, it's a good touch from him, but this time Adriano was close enough to him and the touch wasn't quite precise enough to get away. And Adriano continued after that ball and finds himself out of position as Osil picks it up. It's the German to Sergio Ramos. Now Xabi Alonso tries to clip that into the channel. Abidal waited for it to bounce and almost got himself in trouble. Thiago with Alonso. Alonso leaning in. Thiago can't quite bring it under control. Away it goes from Mascherano. And Barcelona, for the time being at least, are relatively happy just to get the ball out of there. And Mourinho gets a big round of applause for leaping to try and get the ball back in play. And that, again, is symbolic of that desire that Real Madrid have to keep everything very, very high tempo in this first half. It's normally Barcelona's want. At the moment, it's very much Real Madrid's want to get the ball moving as quickly as they possibly can. Alves can't bring that under control. It was a relatively simple piece of control as well for Dan Alves. Iker Casillas thumps it long. Ronaldo is there. Ronaldo's got the strength as well to get away. And there's space for Benzema into the area, and he just stumbled at just the wrong moment, Karim Benzema. And Adriano was across quickly to get to it. Does very well to tidy up, although he may have just run himself into trouble for a moment there, Adriano. Back to Abidal, who's going to take no risks and just thump it up the pitch. Pepe's there, Alonso's there, Pepe once more, and Real Madrid are winning every ball at the moment. They've seen their lead taken away from them, but they haven't seen their pressure taken away from them. They haven't seen the attitude taken away from them as they continue to push Barcelona right back. Here's Thiago. Long way forward, Thiago, for a moment there. This is Keita. Iniesta. Alexis Sanchez wanted that long, but wasn't able to get to the ball. Coming across him was Carvalho to win it. Alexis Sanchez said he didn't do anything. Carvalho is complaining to the referee to get the card out. He thinks it was more than just a foul. It's been a difficult start for Alexis Sanchez in what is his first game for Barcelona. And of course, who scored 12 goals last season for Udinese in 31 games. By far his best return. He'd never got more than 6 before. Real explosion for him last year, and he played very, very well indeed, although much of the credit has to go as well, of course, to Di Natale at Udinese. There are one or two people questioning whether Alexis Sanchez is quite good enough for this Barcelona side. So Pep Guardiola believes he is, and Guardiola certainly deserves the benefit of the doubt. We'll see how Alexis settles into this side. There's a belief at the Camp Nou that Alexis offers something that the rest of Barcelona's players don't. A little bit more directness, a little bit more pace. Well, according to the rules, for a handball to be given, it has to be deliberate. Now, referees obviously normally judge deliberate, not in terms of genuine intent, because you can never be sure about that, but in terms of the ball moving, rather the hand moving to the ball rather than the other way around. And I think that one was pretty accidental as Benzema's in! It's a great challenge from Mascherano. It had to be. He was very, very quick. And suddenly, Karim Benzema was in lots and lots of space in a very similar area to where Real Madrid scored their first goal. And Barcelona are being caught out, and they're being caught out terribly out of position on a couple of occasions. And Mascherano was extremely quick to get across. Keita was dashing back, but it was Mascherano was there. You could see exactly what Benzema was trying to do, go across Valdés to the right-hand post. Well, actually, looking at the replay and the way the left-hand post was opening up, Valdés's left-hand post, perhaps Benzema would have been better going to the other side in any case. Here's Pepe. Unfamiliar, and rather it's Karim Benzema. It's an unfamiliar position for Pepe. So unfamiliar that Pepe's actually back at centre-back at the moment. Adriano very, very nearly saw that ball dash beyond him as Ostil was waiting to get in behind. Adriano now for David Villa. Villa under pressure from Ramos. Ramos is still there, Villa battling for it. Ramos gets in ahead of him. Villa, slightly petulant little push on Ramos. This is Alonso. Alonso looking for the run through the middle. Once again, Barcelona caught open. This is Ostil to Cristiano Ronaldo. Maybe the chance to get off the left-footed shot from Ronaldo. Does indeed get the shot off, but it's over the bar, and Barcelona are wide open at centre-back, and perhaps it's not a huge surprise when it's Mascherano and Abi down, neither of whom, in theory at least, are natural centre-backs. But Barcelona are really being torn open a little bit in that position. Ronaldo's shot wasn't that far away. Valdez takes his time somewhat over this goal kick. Alexis is underneath this, so too Xabi Alonso, who got there ahead of him. Alves to Thiago. Thiago back towards Iniesta. Now Alexis. Alexis steps away from Marcelo, but Marcelo just stood across in time to be able to block him off. Gives away the free kick. But there's no yellow card from Marcelo. If he complains, he runs the risk of getting one, but I think he feels rather hard done by Marcelo in that decision. The clock ticks away on this first half. Well, I don't think there's any doubt at all that it was a foul from Marcelo. Mourinho doesn't think so, but of course Mourinho, Marcelo and the Madrid fans wouldn't. Here's Messi trying to get inside. Messi gets away. Messi's one-on-one with Casillas. Leo Messi scores! Would you believe it? Would you believe it? It's been an astonishingly good first half from Real Madrid. We've seen Barcelona look far more uncomfortable than they've looked at almost any time during Pep Guardiola's reign. And yet, as we go in at half-time, it's Real Madrid 1, Barcelona 2. Leo Messi's the man who gets the goal. And Barcelona are 2-1 up in the final minute of the first half. Slight mistake from Khedira, a slip from Pepe. Messi was in, and the finish was very, very cool as Khedira came back towards him. And Leo Messi, who really hasn't been able to get involved at all, he bounced off Khedira. Pepe went to ground. Pepe just leant out and looked to see if he could try and nudge Messi off balance with his hand. He couldn't do so. Messi got away. And what a goal that is from Lionel Messi. Well, Messi's now scored on each of his last 5 visits to the Santiago Bernabéu, and it's just between the body and the arm of Iker Casillas. This is quite astonishing. Real Madrid really have made life very, very difficult for Barcelona. But it's coming up to half-time, and it's Barcelona who lead. Karim Benzema gave Real Madrid the lead after just 30 minutes. 35 minutes in, and David Villa, with pretty much the first decent shot Barcelona had, made it 1-1, and then pretty much with the second, Lionel Messi made it 2-1. Messi, who had an astonishing goal-scoring record last year, so too did Cristiano Ronaldo. It's only Messi who's added to it this season. Quite incredible at the Bernabeu. It's been frenetic, it's been tense, it's been absolutely fascinating as well. Real Madrid have played well, but at half-time it's Madrid 1, Barcelona 2.
That was announced just now. Let's go back to Madrid and Sid Lowe.
Welcome back to the Santiago Bernabéu, where Barcelona somehow lead Real Madrid by 2-1. It was the first half in which Barcelona were made to feel far more uncomfortable than is normal, but in which, despite being under the cosh for a long part of this game, they suddenly found themselves level with a wonderful goal from David Villa. And then Leo Messi scored to make it Real Madrid 1, Barcelona 2. Madrid had really had a very, very good first half and looked like they would make a lot of chances. Barcelona found very, very open at centre-back, where Abidal and Mascherano in truth haven't convinced. But surprisingly enough, it's Real Madrid who are trailing, not Barcelona. Neither side has made any changes by the looks of it. Just quickly run through those two teams for you. No, it looks like they are both as they were. Here's Leo Messi. Footwork from Messi, but in the end couldn't quite get away. Marcelo's there, Messi wins it back. Now Thiago, Messi again. Messi now to Alexis Sanchez, and completely off the ball. Marcelo took Messi down. Not sure how bad that was, but Messi's certainly gone to ground, and it was a nasty challenge, I think, from Marcelo, but it's probably a good idea to hang on and see. Let's see if we get the chance to see a replay of that, because Messi was dashing away and Marcelo was alongside him. The ball wasn't really there anymore. Messi had already dropped it off to Alexis Sanchez down the line. Well, judging from that angle, I'd say it was an accident. Entirely clear where the contact is. Some of the Real Madrid fans at half-time were unhappy because they felt that Real Madrid should have had a penalty for that possible handball from Eric Abidal in the first half. Here's Messi, lovely ball from Messi towards Alexis Sanchez. It opens up in front of him. Alexis hasn't really got support. He goes towards the byline. Pepe comes across, and Pepe was just that bit too strong. And for a moment there, it looked like he would get away. Alexis Sanchez, nice footwork to take him beyond Marcelo, and a lovely leap as well over the legs of Xabi Alonso. First real glimpse of that explosive speed from him, and it was a neat one too. Just at the end, he wasn't quite strong enough to shake off the challenge of Pepe. Thiago's ball looking towards Keita. He couldn't quite get there. Alonso's ball was looking for the run of Osil. This is Iniesta to Keita. Adriano now for Andres Iniesta. And Barcelona just able to get onto the ball a little bit. I don't know whether those goals have taken some of the sting, some of the momentum out of Real Madrid, but they think carefully about the first half. They will believe that they can continue to push Barcelona back, and if they do so, they can make them very uncomfortable. Here's Messi towards Alexis, but once again Pepe has crossed very quickly. Alexis though has won it back, and for a moment I must say I thought fairly, but the linesman didn't. Alexis is penalised. Pepe is complaining at linesman. I'm not quite sure what for, since as he got the decision, but in any case it is a Real Madrid free kick. There's anything wrong with that challenge at all from Alexis. In the end, possibly a corner. Let's have a look. Maybe the nudge from the arm, actually. So at first view it was looking really at the legs, and he certainly got the ball, Alexis, but there's possibly a hint of a nudge with the forearm on Pepe. Is Messi. Bit of acceleration from Messi to Thiago. Messi goes back inside. Thiago, lovely footwork from Thiago. Gorgeous footwork from Thiago. He's got a bit of space as well. He was looking for, not sure if he was looking for Iniesta or Villa, but in the end it's neither of them. It's Adriano who comes inside. Adriano was trying to slot it back into the path of Thiago, unable to do so. Barcelona corner. See again that lovely piece of footwork from Thiago. It's comfortable though for Casillas. He thought about the quick ball away. David Villa blocked him off, and David Villa possibly a little fortunate not to, at the very least, get a talking to from the referee there. Alves' mistaken clearance becomes a pass for Iniesta, but Keita can't find Thiago on that far side. This is Angel Di Maria. Di Maria is beaten to it. Nicely done by Thiago, who bit by bit is starting to grow into this game. He didn't really have an influence in the first half, but seen 2 or 3 nice touches from him so far in the second. Pepe tried to find the run of Khedira, and it was Messi who cut out that pass. Now Villa. Alexis Sanchez is dashing through the middle for him. Villa sees him as well. Alexis Sanchez doesn't quite get there because it's a very good challenge indeed from Ricardo Carvalho, sliding to the ground to get there first. Men warming up, by the way, at the moment. Callejon and Coentrao are down there for Real Madrid, and It's also Pedro and Piqué for Barcelona warming up on this near touchline. Alonso goes long on the diagonal once again. Here's Angel Di Maria. Well, Mourinho admitted before the game that his one doubt was whether it would be Angel Di Maria or Coentrao that started this game. In the end, it was Angel Di Maria. Sense of trying to give a reward to those players that were already here, give them a certain degree of preference. Coentrao has been very, very impressive in pre-season. Not really in the position we expected as a left-back. In fact, that's been Marcelo's territory. That was one of the reasons why it seems strange that Coentrao should turn up for 30 million after such a good season that Marcelo had, as Silva dashes onto this. Coentrao has actually played most of pre-season as a central midfielder, or as one of 3 central midfielders, sometimes even slightly over to the right-hand side. He's shown aggression and pace and real versatility. He's preparing to come on now for Real Madrid. We'll see who it's for. The most natural change would be for Angel Di Maria, but we'll see. This is Thiago. Khedira forward towards Mesut Ozil. Now Cristiano Ronaldo. Benzema is going beyond. Ronaldo does well. He gets beyond the challenge of Mascherano. Mascherano was already trying to pull out. Ronaldo towards the byline. Alves comes across, and Alves makes the tackle. That's a very, very good tackle as well. And Alves was quick there because Cristiano Ronaldo is some athlete.
Primer cambio en el Real Madrid. Se retira con el 22 Di María y entra con el 15 Fabio Coentrao.
Well, is indeed Angel Di Maria, and the 23-year-old Fabio Coentrao. 30 million euros he cost Real Madrid in the summer is on. Here's Pepe trying to turn, not really space for him, but Pepe has got support from Xabi Alonso! Real Madrid have equalised. What a game this is turning out to be. Alonso gets the goal. And it's Real Madrid 2, Barcelona 2. Pepe held off the challenge and laid it back, and Xabi Alonso calmly guided it into the net. It's a really, really neat finish from Alonso. Really well taken from Xabi Alonso. As everyone dashed out towards him. Pepe did just enough, didn't he, to hold off the man. Alonso's finished through the only gap there was, really, as Mascherano leapt. What a game this is turning out to be. Well, it's all been a bit upside down, really. Barcelona scored 2 goals when Real Madrid were dominating to some extent in the first half, and in these early minutes of the second half, Barcelona just about started to get hold of the ball and started to look that little bit more comfortable, started to make 1 or 2 minor things happen. And then it was Real Madrid that scored, a gallop from Cristiano Ronaldo, and then from the corner, Xabi Alonso scores. And Alexis Sanchez goes into the referee's notebook. Alongside that, the name of Sami Khedira. It's time for a handball. Well, I'm not really sure how Alexis Sanchez could have done anything to get out of the way of that. See it again. I'm not sure if he did maybe raise an arm. See, we may well get a better view from a different angle. Quite see it. So it's a good opportunity this for Real Madrid. Alonso to curl it in. Lovely delivery. Valdés misses it. Well, it looked for all the world like that ball was going into the net, as Pepe is very, very, very late on Dani Alves. Very late indeed. Now, I'm not sure if he actually caught Alves or not, but Alves is down. And again, it may well be a case of one of those, a bit like we were saying in the first half, when the player that strikes the ball follows through and actually provokes the contact as much as the player that's running across him. But Pepe was late on Alves. And Sergio Ramos, I think, came over to have a word with Dani Alves and to tell him to get up and tell him there was nothing wrong with him. Let's have a look. Oh, well, now he's very, very late indeed, Pepe. I think it's actually the knee against the thigh as much as anything else. That is a bad, bad challenge, and it's quite astonishing that after a challenge like that, and a little bit of afters as well, that no one has been booked. Pepe puts on an innocent face, but Really and truly, that was a pretty bad challenge from the Portuguese. And the Madrid fans are having a go at Dani Alves, but and here's the chance, by the way. Well, the angle, tell you what, if Abidal had got a touch on that header back from Karim Benzema, it may well have been an own goal. And Xabi Alonso is having a word with Dani Alves. Alonso is gesturing at Alves too. I assume he's saying to Alves that that's the second one he's done, although I'm not entirely sure. Oh, the fans are furious. Pepe is looking, well, he's looking a little contrite. And Barcelona do make the change now. It's Thiago, the 20-year-old, makes way. It's been not a bad game for him, perhaps not quite as good as his pre-season performance has suggested, but he was just starting to get into the game in the second half, and it's Xavi that comes on, which now does mean that he and Iker Casillas will face each other for the 25th time, more than any pair of Barcelona and Real Madrid players in history. Meanwhile, Khedira makes way for Callejon. Callejon, who's had a pretty impressive pre-season as well. He's been one of the pleasant surprises from Real Madrid's point of view. Former Real Madrid youth team player who was at Espanyol. Real Madrid bought him back this summer for €5 million. In truth, I think most people expected them to bring him back and then maybe loan him out as they waited for him to improve a little and perhaps bring him back in a couple of years' time. But he's impressed. Certainly in the United States, he was very, very good indeed for Real Madrid, and he played well as well against Leicester City in that friendly in England. Callejon gets his opportunity. 24-year-old. Well, certainly heating up a little in the Santiago Bernabéu, and there's a sense of injustice from Real Madrid fans. I think, in truth, I think it's as much a case of previous as anything else. They remember, of course, the infamous challenge of Pepe on Dani Alves during the Champions League, which meant that Pepe was sent off, but Real Madrid down to 10 men at a time when it was 0-0. Also meant Pepe missing the second leg. It's a good run as well from Ozil. It maybe drops for Benzema, doesn't quite. But then dashing through the gap is Xabi Alonso. He won't quite get there because across comes Valdés. The fans, as I say, really remember that challenge as the turning point. Certainly Real Madrid fans do. Madrid, of course, appealed to UEFA and said that Dani Alves had faked it, that he hadn't been touched at all by Pepe during the Champions League. And I suspect that that was on a lot of people's minds when Pepe made this challenge on Alves. And at the time, some Real Madrid fans complained that it was Pepe's past experience that meant that he was so harshly punished then. Well, this time maybe it was Dani Alves' past experience that meant he wasn't, as Benzema tries to wriggle his way away from challenges into the penalty area. Well, an hour gone. Gerard Piqué is preparing to come on for Barcelona, and the man that makes way is Adriano. So it will almost certainly be Piqué into centre-back, with Eric Abidal moving to left-back. It really hasn't been a centre-back partnership that's impressed tonight, that Eric Abidal and Javier Mascherano partnership. Piqué coming on. He's not fully fit. He hasn't had the best of pre-seasons. Gerard Piqué not fully fit during pre-season. He also didn't seem to be particularly well prepared. Had a couple of minor muscle injuries. Just taken a little while for him to find his feet. So he didn't start tonight, but We will get half an hour here, Gerard Piqué. Piqué gets a big whistle from the Real Madrid fans who remember the story that circulated. Whether or not it's true, it's difficult to know. Gerard Piqué himself denied it. It suggested that Piqué had insulted some of the Real Madrid players after the Clásico in the league here last year, which finished 1-1, and not only had insulted them but had made a couple of anti-Spanish remarks, which is obviously slightly bizarre as he plays for the Spanish national team. That's one of the reasons that Piqué said that there's no way he could have said it, because of course he gives everything to Spain, and during the World Cup, in his words, quite literally split his face open for the Spanish national team. But certainly that was the accusation, and I think the Real Madrid fans remember that as he gets a big whistle, Piqué. There's also an awareness just that Piqué is relatively outspoken in his support of Barcelona, and of course nothing is more guaranteed to earn you the dislike, shall we say, of the Real Madrid fans than that. And sort of still looking towards Cristiano Ronaldo. Marcelo is there. Alexis Sanchez can't block off the pass. Cristiano Ronaldo goes for it. Ronaldo's now got Coentrão inside. It's not the best of first touches from Ronaldo. Coentrão, I must say, I thought he dived at first take, but it'd be interesting to see this again. Mascherano was the man who made the challenge. And this is a very, very good position indeed for Cristiano Ronaldo. Marcelo did really, really well to get to it. Ronaldo was looking for the ball inside. Coentrão's first touch was heavy. Very difficult to tell from that angle whether Mascherano only got the ball or got a bit of Coentrão as well. It's a foul. It's a foul. The right decision for the referee. And it's a good position this for Cristiano Ronaldo. And he scored a couple of wonderful free kicks over the summer. Didn't get quite as many as you might expect last year. 4 from 52 attempts in La Liga, but he certainly is dangerous. And this is a very, very good position for him, both in terms of distance and in terms of the angle. Here is Ronaldo! Ooh. It was not far away, and not sure that Victor Valdés was really able to get across that either. Stood rooted to the spot. Had that been on target, don't think the goalkeeper would have reached it to be able to stop it going in. It wasn't that far away, and the way it moves, Valdés went slightly to his right and then was forced to go back again. Fortunately for him, the ball was always just drifting a little wide. Alonso, it's another sumptuous pass and another wonderful touch as well, this time from Sergio Ramos. His ball is the error. Benzema's dashing in. It may drop to Ronaldo. Scuffs it. Good save from Valdés. It almost dropped to Benzema again. Back into the box once more from Ramos. And Dani Alves, who momentarily wasn't paying much attention, suddenly had to get across and make the challenge ahead of Cristiano Ronaldo. Here's Marcelo. Marcelo to Coentrão. Alves in front of him. Coentrão tries to turn away from him, and it's a corner for Real Madrid. Still with the corner towards the penalty spot, headed away by Keita. Ronaldo was jumping behind him. Alonso was fouled by Alexis Sanchez. Real Madrid have 5 men inside the Barcelona penalty area. They've got Cristiano Ronaldo. Callejon is lurking on the edge as well. Ronaldo was looking to get in on the end of that, but it was Xabi Alonso's ball that in the end really just swung all the way through to Victor Valdés. Here's Mascherano. At the moment, Mascherano, the right-hand side of the 2 centre-backs, with Piqué as the left-hand side. Abidal's left back since that change. Neat little touch from Xabi towards Alexis. Alexis was looking for the run inside of Messi. Messi couldn't get there. Here's Carvalho put under pressure. Back it goes for Iker Casillas. Casillas towards Marcelo. Instead it's Ronaldo. Ronaldo on the chest to Marcelo. Tried to give it straight back to Ronaldo. Dani Alves instead gets there. Xavi to Mascherano. Mascherano's ball is a poor one, and Callejon gets to it. This is Alonso. The run for a moment there was on for Benzema. Alonso thought about it, changed his mind. Here's Cristiano Ronaldo. Osil is alongside him now, coming onto this left-hand side. Ronaldo goes it alone, comes back now for Osil. Osil's ball into the box, and a good one to Benzema, but straight into the arms of Victor Valdés. Well, they've certainly created chances, Real Madrid. Here's Alexis. Marcelo catches him. Alexis gets back up to Leo Messi. Leo Messi's got Carvalho behind him. Carvalho catches him, having held him a little for a moment there. Messi is having a quick word with Mourinho. Messi again tried to get away from Osil. Actually made a bit of a mess of that, Lionel Messi. Osil with Xavi. Alves was there helping out. This is Coentrao. Coentrao tried to slot that ball into the channel, looking for the run perhaps of Benzema. I'm not sure Benzema had actually made the run. This is Iniesta, but he's beaten to it by Coentrao. Now Carvalho. Carvalho continues his run through the middle. Ronaldo has got Callejon outside him. You could see Ronaldo look up and look towards the run of Ramos on the far side. Decided against it in the end. Instead finds Xabi Alonso. Alonso sees the run of Callejon. He's also got Cristiano Ronaldo on this left-hand side. Ronaldo fails by Alves. Ronaldo comes inside, takes a shot, takes a deflection as well, and wide for a corner. Valdés was scampering across his goal towards the right-hand post. This is Osil. Andres Iniesta is underneath this. He was leaping with Callejon. Piqué now brings it down on the chest and hoists it long towards David Villa. Villa gets away from the defender and the referee gives a free kick. I think Villa feels that he was perhaps a tad unlucky there. It's Coentrao that he was battling with. Here's Benzema. To Osil, back towards Benzema. Ronaldo's in! Straight into the arms, though, of Valdés as Ronaldo was slipping. It was Benzema who seemed to have the chance on at first, but in fact it was Ronaldo that it dropped to. Underneath this is Alexis jumping with Carvalho. Carvalho gets there first. He's got Marcelo in support. Marcelo up the line towards Carvalho, away from Xavi. Xavi has to pull out of the way. And there's a run on as well for Osil. And there's lots of space for Osil with Karim Benzema going into the box on the far side. Mesut Osil towards the byline. Pulls it back for Benzema. But Valdés is across quickly to Gava and rolls it out for Xavi Hernandez. And the game is really opening up a little. Messi is making the run in front of Xavi. He hasn't really got the support. In the end, he goes short for Iniesta. Iniesta now for Alexis on this side. Iniesta, with Callejon behind him, still Andres Iniesta, He sees the run on the left-hand side for David Villa. Villa brings it under control, is faced by Sergio Ramos. Villa cuts back towards Xavi. Alexis is on the far side, Xavi spears it over towards him, and Alexis had strayed offside on that far side. Real Madrid will have possession back with a free kick. Pedro, meanwhile, on the touchline has a quick word with the linesman, and it is the right decision. Marcelo away from Alexis, up it goes to Osil. Lovely touch from Osil for Karim Benzema, and Osil was continuing the run. The linesman's flag is up on the far side. I'm not sure what for. I wonder if Osil had maybe strayed into an offside position. It seemed at all clear at first what it's for. I guess it is for the offside, and if it is an offside, which it may well be, certainly very, very tight indeed, as Barcelona tried to push that back line up as high as they possibly could. Piqué momentarily lost control of that. With the support of Abidal, though, Barcelona have it back. Abidal immediately gives it away, but it drops for Andres Iniesta, who's been tugged and pulled by Callejon, and Iniesta's not too happy about that challenge from José Callejon, and he tells him so. Of course, they've been rivals in a derby before. Iniesta and the man with the Jedwood haircut. Callejon played for Espanyol last season. Piqué goes long towards Alexis Sanchez. Alexis may well get in here, but it bounces through to Iker Casillas, and perhaps even a little higher than Casillas expected. Well, Real Madrid and Barcelona between them have won 17 of the 28 Super Copas. Barcelona have a slightly better record, 9 against Madrid, 7. But as I said earlier on, Real Madrid have won 4 out of 4 against Barcelona in this competition. It's a poor ball from Abidal towards Keita. Incidentally, for those who have not yet been made aware of it, at half-time, Barcelona have officially announced that Cesc Fabregas is their player. It strikes me as very bizarre timing, that, to announce that at half-time during a game like this, but not only has it been formally announced, but also it was announced by Zubizarreta, the sporting director, talking to Spanish television at half-time here at the Santiago Bernabéu down in the director's box. So Cesc Fabregas is now officially a Barcelona player. Barcelona change, it's Pedro who comes on for David Villa, the scorer of Barcelona's first goal, of course. The Barcelona official communique on Cesc Fabregas, by the way, says that Arsenal and Barcelona have reached the principle, the basis of an agreement for the transfer of Cesc Fabregas, which still awaits the final signature and the medical, which the player will have on Monday the 15th of August. Well, the Real Madrid fans chant the name of Raúl, 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 as I think a gesture to say to David Villa, you may have taken his place in the Spanish national team, but we prefer our player, we prefer our Raúl than you, which given that it's a gesture, something that's being said about the Spanish national team, is a slightly strange chant, really, because David Villa now has scored more goals than Raúl for the Spanish national team, and of course was top scorer both at the last World Cup, which Spain won, and the European Championship, which Spain won. So in terms of Spain, it's a funny thing to chant, but of course it's all about club allegiances tonight. Here's Pedro running at Sergio Ramos, goes beyond Ramos but loses his footing. Pepe comes across and absolutely thumps the ball into the legs of Pedro. The referee gives the free kick. Although there isn't actually much contact on Pedro, it is true that the rules do say any challenge made with excessive force, and if you look at the way that Pepe came across and the way Pepe tends to come across, I suppose you could argue that's excessive force, and he certainly followed through into Pedro a little bit, even though he very clearly kicked the ball. He then continued and kicked a bit of Pedro. Xavi's ball into the area. Keita was the man near it. It was just that little bit too long for Keita, and he was all alone on the edge of the 6-yard box as well. Piqué was trying to get in behind him, but couldn't quite reach it. Not the best of deliveries from Xavi, but it was pretty dangerous for a moment there. 15 minutes to go. Remember, there is still a second leg to come at the Camp Nou on Wednesday night. Barcelona against Real Madrid. It's Real Madrid against Barcelona here. It's 2-2 at Santiago Bernabéu. And while Real Madrid will be very, very pleased with the way things have gone, of course, if the scoreline doesn't change, it's a bit of an advantage for Barcelona. Away goals do count in the Supercopa. As Alexis looking to get in behind Marcelo. Marcelo's touch isn't the best, and Messi was lurking to try and make the most of that. Here's Alexis. Coentrao gets in ahead of him. Nice work from Coentrao towards Özil. Özil now for Benzema. Benzema turns around the corner to Cristiano Ronaldo. And there's space opening up in front of him. Piqué comes across. Özil into the middle. Cristiano Ronaldo gets himself tied in a knot. And in the end, Piqué is given just that moment, that opportunity to get across and make the challenge. And for a moment there, it was almost as if Cristiano Ronaldo lost his footing as he was dashing up the left-hand side. More news, by the way, that Cesc Fabregas will be officially presented as a Barcelona player tomorrow as well. It'll be at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon at the Camp Nou. Brought down by Ronaldo. Hint of a hand in bringing that down. It didn't matter in any case because Barcelona managed to get the ball clear. Nice work from Iniesta to Pedro, back towards Iniesta. He doesn't get there, Abidal does. Forward from him, Messi will chase after this. Pepe goes across to win it. Pepe is quick and goes once more diagonally across the field. It's not the best of touches though from Mesut Özil. Down goes Mascherano. Too much doubt that he was caught by Callejon. Here's Keita looking for Andres Iniesta. Not really been able to impose himself that much on this game, Andres Iniesta. Keita, alongside him is Xavi. Here is Xavi. Saw the run inside of Pedro. In the end, decided against it. Messi brings it under control. Messi's held back by Carvalho and then taken out by Xabi Alonso. And in truth, Alonso's rather fortunate it's taken this long for him to get a yellow card. He and Khedira have both got them now. Alonso doesn't complain. I think he knows that it was a bad challenge, and a challenge, though, that he'll also feel that it was necessary to make, with Lionel Messi possibly dashing away from him. Carvalho tried to hold Messi back. Messi got away from him. Coentrao was turning away, and it's a bad challenge from Alonso. And I'm not sure if Messi may have ever so slightly been going to ground even before Alonso got there. Too much doubt that it was a foul, though. Messi and Xavi are the men over this ball. It's not a bad position for either man. Possibly, you would say, a little further out than either of them would like it. They're not players who tend to hit the ball especially hard, Messi or Xavi. It's perhaps 3 or 4 yards further out than they would normally like, but see, both Xavi and Messi there. Xavi certainly appears to be preparing for it, but no, it's going to be Messi. It's not that far away. Casillas was diving, but didn't need to in the end. That's a lovely touch from Pedro. He was taken out by Sergio Ramos, and Pedro can't quite believe that Ramos didn't get any kind of talking to from the referee there. Gonzalo Higuain is preparing to come on. Well, Ramos is pretty fortunate in truth. Messi, neat touch from Messi towards Pedro. Pedro tries to spread it over the right hand side for Alexis, who is strayed offside again. He needs to be very careful with that line, Alexis, and also a little more alert. Real Madrid take the free kick quickly. Alexis is slightly out of position, but he gets back well to make the challenge on Cristiano Ronaldo. Barcelona felt they had the throw in. Alexis thought so, certainly. Barcelona complain. Real Madrid get on with it and take it quickly. PK is there. Abidal now. He's under pressure, though, from Callejon. Abidal launches it towards Pedro. Pedro's faced by Pepe. Pepe back towards Carvalho, who hoists it up in the air. PK forward. Pedro tried to guide that into the path of Lionel Messi. Wasn't quite able to do so. This is Callejon. Callejon, though, loses out to Pedro. Now Messi. Messi sees a run of Alexis Sanchez, goes short towards Sanchez. Sanchez was just trying to turn it with the outside of the boot back into the path of Lionel Messi. Can come off for him. PK now to Abidal. Most convincing of passes, but Barcelona do maintain possession. This is Xavi. I wonder if this is Barcelona imposing their control a little on the game, as Alexis is onside. Ramos comes across to him. Ramos makes the challenge. The referee says it was a fair tackle, and in the end Alexis tries to win it back and Carvalho clears it, and it's the free kick has gone Real Madrid's way, I think. And Carvalho is saying something to the linesman. I think maybe he expected an offside. And it's Karim Benzema who makes way. Gonzalo Higuain who replaces him. Difficult season last year for Gonzalo Higuain with back problems. Of course, the first game he missed was that 5-0 against Real Madrid in November. That morning he was with the team in the team hotel, visibly limping, and that was the moment they took the decision to take him out the side and eventually to get him treated. He was out for a good 4 months. Gonzalo Higuain scored 10 goals in the end in just 17 appearances. Not a bad return at all. It wasn't the best of season for the man who'd actually outscored Cristiano Ronaldo, would you believe, the season before, with 27 goals to Ronaldo's 26. Back it goes to Casillas. Ronaldo's beaten to it by Alves. Alves has got Alexis Sanchez alongside him. Messi making the run through the middle as well, but Carvalho saw it very, very early, and it was a good interception as well. Here's Özil trying to turn and go beyond Mascherano, but Mascherano's quick enough and strong enough to get his body ahead of Mesut Özil and block him off and prevent the German from dashing up the line. Mesut Özil, who most Real Madrid fans would say was a huge, huge success in his first season, and a bargain too at just around about 15 or 16 million euros. Lovely touch from Xavi, and he's got a bit of space on the left-hand side. This is Iniesta. Maybe Iniesta has to play that pass to Pedro. Instead, he goes beyond the tackle, and he tried to find Pedro. Pedro, though, probably won't get there. It's advantage Sergio Ramos as he goes across, and Ramos uses his body very well indeed to just ease Pedro away and maintain possession. Callejon up the line now towards Higuain. Higuain is faced by Piqué. Turns away from Piqué, does really, really well Higuain. He's got two men alongside him. One of them's Ronaldo. Outside him is Özil. Özil's got space to go into the penalty area. Alves comes across. Özil puts it in, and Keita wins it and just nudges it into the path of Dani Alves. I'm not sure how intentionally, but certainly that's the way it turned out for them. Alves away from Coentrao. Poor pass though from Alves, and Callejon wins it back. This is Mesut Özil. Feeling there's some very, very tired players out there right now. Piqué tries to go away from Higuain. His clearance isn't a good one, only as far as Callejon, and Piqué is out of position for the moment. Callejon's ball towards the far post is seen by Valdés. Not the best of claims by Valdés. Down goes Cristiano Ronaldo. Real Madrid want a penalty. Referee says no. Well, well, well. It would be very, very interesting indeed to see the replay on that, because it did appear that Ronaldo, as he went towards that ball, may have either tripped or been tripped by Victor Valdés. Barcelona, in the meantime, break. Here's Xavi. And again, Xavi. Now Andres Iniesta, but I think everybody in the stadium really is trying to get their mind around that last challenge, whether there was a foul or not from Victor Valdés. Valdés didn't entirely convince when he came for the cross, and then Ronaldo was dashing towards it. It did seem to be some contact. I'm not quite sure who provoked it, where it came from, but certainly Cristiano Ronaldo went to ground in the penalty area. And some Real Madrid fans are chanting, hands up, this is a robbery. I think that's a pretty eloquent comment on what they think of the refereeing. Here's Coentrao. Coentrao's ball is looking for Gonzalo Higuain, but it's out of play for a throw-in. Well, it was Callejon's cross, and Victor Valdés, who wasn't particularly convincing on the claim, slipped out of his hands. Cristiano Ronaldo goes for it. Oof, well, I must say, it does look like Valdés moved his right arm towards Ronaldo. Very, very difficult to be sure, but let's have a look here. Well, they have a case, that is for sure. Real Madrid certainly have a case for a penalty. It's difficult to tell whether it's just a completely incidental piece of contact or not, but Madrid have a case. And you can bet your life that they'll be talking about that for the next few days, certainly as we build up to the second leg. You can imagine that there'll be some talk about it immediately after the game as Cristiano Ronaldo comes inside. It's a good run from him, but he's forced away from the penalty area momentarily. This is Xabi Alonso. Callejon on the far side. Callejon's ball in is a good one, but no one was quite ready enough or far enough forward on that left-hand post to be able to get on the end of it. Let's have a look again. Well, I have to say, I think Valdés' right arm comes out. Whether it's deliberate, I'm not so sure, but I think Valdés' right arm comes out. And I think Real Madrid have a case. They'll be talking about that long into the night, and I'm sure they'll be talking about it in the build-up to Wednesday night's second leg as well. Whether there is a goal or there isn't a goal in the final 5 minutes, that will be a big, big, big talking point, not least because last year's games between these two teams were so shrouded in controversy, some of it real, some of it invented. There were some perceived slights, some very genuine slights between the two teams, and of course Mourinho then launched that infamous rant about UEFA, saying that Barcelona effectively were being helped out by UEFA. Here's Xavi, Messi to Pedro. There's a little bit of space for Pedro to go into as well. Pedro gets away from Pedro into the area, down he goes. And I tell you what, he got away from Pepe. Marcelo was there as well. Pedro was caught. And of course, because we're in the Real Madrid stadium, no one's really appealing for a penalty, but it did look for a moment there like Pedro may well have been brought down. Just for a moment, it looked like it was really going to open up for Barcelona there. Abidal carries the ball forward. Messi and Pedro are both offside. They're not really very much help for their teammates at the moment, although Messi now is back into position. Alexis to Abidal. Xavi. Now Keita. Mascherano now for Pedro. Back once more for Javier Mascherano and Gerard Piqué. Here's Andres Iniesta. Pedro, Iniesta again. Barcelona momentarily get a bit of possession. They've not had a huge amount in this game, surely far less than in virtually any game they'd have played in the last 2 or 3 years. They are a side that tend to hog the ball tonight. They've really not been able to, Barcelona. They have, however, been able to score twice. Real Madrid, of course, have done likewise. This is Abidal to Keita. Keita under pressure from Pepe. Keita tells Pepe to back away. Pepe goes back towards Keita. Andres Iniesta turns away from Coentrao. Pepe, in the meantime, is out of position and has to dash back now because Barcelona are threatening. This is Alexis Sanchez receiving the pass from Xavi Hernandez, but the shot is charged down by Sergio Ramos and goes right through to Iker Casillas. Still there with Mascherano. Mascherano gets his head on him, but Ozil manages to keep the move alive. I think he's happy enough, though, to take the throw-in as Mesut Ozil. Here's Marcelo. Callejon outside him as Sergio Ramos. There's lots and lots of space as well for Gonzalo Higuain in the middle. Ronaldo's there too. Higuain was hanging around on the penalty spot. No one really anywhere near him. It comes to Ozil. Another chance maybe to deliver the ball into the box. Lots of men waiting, but it's Andres Iniesta who clears. Here's Xavi. Looking for the run up the line for Pedro, and Pedro had a bit of space to go into. Pepe was coming across to try and close him off, but had that ball evaded the man, it may well have been an opportunity. And oof, well. Difficult to be sure, but there certainly looked to be contact, and you'd say maybe as much of a penalty as the one at the other end. As Alves comes inside, it's a very good tackle indeed from Xabi Alonso, back into the path for Coentrao, but Coentrao can't get there. Messi was dashing back to try and win the ball back. Messi to Xavi. Xavi's bundled over by Callejon, who was leaning right into him, and Callejon's complaining about the decision. He was already in a position where it was almost impossible to maintain his balance, and obviously by extension, therefore, the balance of Xavi Hernandez. Barcelona keep possession, but for a moment it looked a little bit nervy. And then it's spread wide to the left-hand side. There'll be 3 more minutes of this. Here's Andres Iniesta, and the new season has started in pretty exciting fashion. And this isn't over yet either. Second leg to come on Wednesday night. Here's Pedro. Pedro comes inside. He felt he was caught by Marcelo. Marcelo didn't think so. Pedro goes down. The fans don't think so either. And Callejon actually is making a very good point to the referee. He's saying to him, look at the linesman. The linesman's flag never went up. Coentrao gets the yellow card. And the point that Callejon's making is a good one. The linesman, who in theory is the person who's closest to that challenge and with the best view of it, didn't flag, didn't signal a foul. It's not to say he was right or wrong, but it is striking. Well, definitely is a foul, I think, from that angle, isn't it? And this is the possible penalty. And I have to say, I think that's a penalty as well. What I don't fully understand is why Callejon is the man who's been booked. Presume it's for saying something to the referee, because it certainly wasn't for the foul, unless of course it's a case of mistaken identity, which would seem a little unlikely between Coentrao and Marcelo. Piqué's trying to dash in behind. Messi thought about the quick free kick to Piqué. Alexis Sanchez is doing likewise. Dani Alves, Messi both there. Instead it goes short towards Xavi. Xavi for Iniesta. Iniesta now for Dani Alves. Barcelona didn't want to put the ball straight in the box, but they have worked a bit of space now for Alexis on the right side. Alexis pulls it back towards Messi, who was just pulling away from the defenders to the edge of the penalty area. Alexis, though, can't quite find him. Alves, Coentrão's there. Coentrão kicks out a little at Alves, but the play continues. Alves tried to get out the way, I think, of that challenge on Özil. Not entirely sure he even touched Özil, but the referee did give the free kick. I think he's about to go and book Dani Alves as well. And Alves did back away, but he's been given a yellow card. I'm not sure if Alves caught him or not. Let's have a look. It's difficult to tell, isn't it, from that angle, whether he may have just caught the back of Özil. Just clipped his legs, perhaps, as he was dashing away. Alves is wearing that hard-done-by smile. It's Iker Casillas who will thump this long as we go into the final 30 seconds of what's been a really engaging match. The first goal scored by Mesut Özil to give Real Madrid a 1-0 lead. Barcelona before half-time, despite having been very uncomfortable, found themselves 2-1 up with goals from David Villa, a real beauty, and Leo Messi. And then just 8 minutes into the second half, Xavi Alonso made it 2-2. There's been opportunities for goals for both sides, probably more for Madrid than for Barcelona in the time in the second half since then, but neither of them have been able to find that goal, and it looks like it is going to finish 2-2 here in the first leg of the Supercopa. Maybe there's still time for one more move, or maybe not. Teixeira Bitienes brings an end to the curtain raiser of the 2011-2012 season. It's finished here at the Santiago Bernabéu. Real Madrid 2, Barcelona 2. It's been hugely entertaining, and there's more to come on Wednesday night.
Indeed, more to come on Wednesday night. Thursday morning our time, 2-2 the final score. And Spider, it looks like Barcelona's final. Two away goals.
Advantage
scored,
Barcelona for sure and certain. You've seen there, we were talking before the match how we didn't think both coaches were taking it too seriously. Well, you can obviously see by the expressions. Mourinho unhappy and Guardiola very happy.
That's right.
We'd be delighted. The commentator said it was a fantastic morning or fantastic game. I don't know if it was fantastic commentary. He didn't draw a breath in the whole thing. I've got an earache after that. But, it was for Barcelona. They'll be delighted. They'll be absolutely delighted. Even in the second half, their chance after chance for Madrid.
Mourinho was bringing on the B echelon players as subs, and Barcelona was doing the reverse, bringing on the big guns, and they'll be playing in midweek. There you go, Spider. So it's all.
Look, it's still only a couple of days away. In saying it is, a bit of a tussle they're having now as we're walking off, but. The thing is with Barcelona is they've still got a lot of improvement in them, whereas I think Real Madrid are actually ready to go now. They're ready to go now, so that'll be the disappointing factor there. They did have the more of the play. They probably should have won the game quite comfortably, Real Madrid, but the fact is that they didn't.
Foz, 4 quality goals in the game. Let's have a look at them. And a couple of quite convincing penalty shots as well.
Yeah, they just turned the Barcelona defence, and Benzema come inside, plays a nice ball through to Özil. A little bit lucky, it goes through the legs of Mascherano, but still a very, very nice finish. And Özil makes a beautiful supporting run anyway. This was a nice bit of play because Messi comes in just in between the lines where he plays. You see him turn as he does, plays a perfect ball, you know, along the grass, beautiful weight, and then he comes inside and just hits something there that's the highest level,
you come
basically.
to expect from Villa. But.
Exactly. Now this is pure Barca, and that is we've got the ball, we actually lose it, but we win it back immediately in and around the edge of their box.
But look how strong Messi is. People don't realise that it's not just his ball skills, he's a tremendously strong fella. Low
centre of gravity, very strong in the thighs. Very hard to push off, and of course incredibly quick just over that little short distance, indeed long as well. And then the second half, so they're down at half time, they come out, a very nice finish from Alonso. Goals really high quality, more chances in this game between the two of them than you'd ordinarily see. It was really a very, very open game, which reflects partly the fact that Barca couldn't control the ball as they normally do. They couldn't control the tempo, couldn't control possession. For the majority of that game, and secondly because Madrid, in the first leg, they want to make sure they try to win that.
A couple of penalty shots, as I mentioned. The first one on Ronaldo. Spider, how did you see that one?
No, I thought they were both quite harmless, half-hearted half-hearted appeals. I wouldn't have given him. Yeah, how can you give a penalty for that?
Well, it has to be a deliberate trip, doesn't it?
No, you give him a little touch.
He did give him one. Yeah, he did give him one.
Mourinho obviously thought it was a pen.
It could have been one. It definitely could have been one.
Yeah.
You could have seen him given before, but
Yeah.
I prefer that he didn't give him.
I wonder which side the assistant referee was on. Because if it was on this side and watching straight on there, I tell you what,
It's always
could
the
very
angle.
well be given. Yeah.
Okay, and a lot of pushing and shoving as well, Spider.
Yeah, at the end there, I think the Real Madrid, we were talking off air, the Real Madrid guys said, you know, we've got a Barcelona at probably about 50%. We still can't beat them. Mourinho will go home, be scratching his head again, thinking, what am I going to have to do to beat this team? And this is the real question that not just Real Madrid, but the whole world's got to do. How do we beat this team?
All right, a comment on the Fabregas signing, which is now official. Foz, where's he going to fit in this Barcelona team?
Well, he's going to fit in the midfield somewhere. You saw Thiago played this morning. I think these players are going to have to be rested again this season. They've had the last 3 years has been just continued momentum, so he needs someone else available in the midfield. But also they bought him for the long term. He's 24 years old and Xavi's 31. Okay, so he's their product. So he's one midfielder who's already grown up, he's matured, and he's made the very top level, set up the goal in the World Cup final. So he's above just about any other midfielder in the world. You're only talking about a couple, right? He's already there, but he grew up through their club. So he's the only guy who already knows the system. There's no education. He walks straight in. He plays with Spain and with them, okay? And he's 24 years old. So he's got 7 years on Xavi. So Xavi's got what, 2 years left at the top level? Take Fabregas through by 2013. He's your main organising midfielder, and you're flying.
It's educational, Spider, that Barcelona just signed two quality players in this off-season. Alexis, who's Chilean, but the other one is a former Barcelona player. So they don't need to buy players because you've got Thiago now coming through, for example, and these sorts of players.
I think it's scary for the other teams because in saying that, if you do remember that Barcelona have always had quite a thin squad.
That's right.
They're now actually strengthening the squad. They play 60-odd matches in a season. Now with the squad with 2 or 3 extra quality players that can change at any time, it's just a scary thought for the other sides. Fabregas, fantastic player. Les, what was the price tag for Fabregas?
Undisclosed figure. Massive options in attack for Barcelona in midfield and in the striking line, because if you've got there are players who can shuffle back and forth between those positions. Iniesta, for example.
Exactly. So the whole point about what Guardiola's trying to do is versatility. So a couple of years ago, teams were coming at them, they utterly destroyed them. Then everyone sat back and tried to learn from what Inter did. Mourinho did it. They beat them. All of a sudden, they have to break them down. Last year, now Madrid start to come out a little bit against them as well. So he's now brought some pace to go behind. The thing about Fabregas is he can play as number 6. He can play as one of the creative, organising guys. He's got, I think, per minute in the last couple of years, he's got more assists than any other player in Europe. What does that mean? Is he's got the final pass and that he really reads the game unbelievably, and he scores goals. So, you know, when you've got open space in behind, Fabregas will play unbelievable balls through. He has them for breakfast. But then when you're around the box, he'll make the runs through from the second line. He'll play the balls through. So, I mean,
all right, gentlemen, thank you for a fun morning. We'll see you later in the week for the Champions League. The second leg is on Thursday night on SBS2 at 9:30, but plenty to come before then on the World Game tonight. We'll preview La Liga and look at the dispute that is threatening the start of the league season, plus bring you all the action from the opening weekend in England. There's also a look back at the Socceroos win in Wales. That's all from 9:30 p.m. tonight on SBS2 and 11:30 on SBS1. And it's Champions League time again on Wednesday with live coverage of the playoffs. We begin at the Emirates, Arsenal versus Udinese, followed by Lyon and Rubin Kazan. On Thursday, we're live in Denmark with Odense and Villarreal, followed by highlights of Bayern and FC Zurich. With the UEFA Champions League hour at a new time, 8:30 p.m. on SBS2, 11 p.m. on SBS1 and streamed online. And following the live matches on Thursday, we've more from the Under-20 World Cup with the semi-finals live and exclusive from